All right, guys. Going to quickly go over a few things here for from Unit 4. These particular things, basically finding slope, writing equations in slope-intercept form, writing equations in point-slope form. So I'm going to go through the different parts. Here's the first one, find the slope. Now, from a graph. So remember that from a graph, we're looking at our slope face. There's positive, negative, undefined, zero. Those are the four different possibilities that we could have from a graph. Now the one you guys see here, this one happens to be a positive slope. So I know I'm going to make sure I write it as a positive. Okay? And then remember, it's rise over run. So from one of my points, I'm going up one space. Okay, there's my rise. My run, 1, 2. Okay, so my slope here, for this particular one would be 1/2. That's finding slope from a graph. Okay, finding slope from 2 points. We're going to be using our formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, I would highly advise marking which one is which. Excuse me. Wrote x1 twice. So I got my x1, y1, and my x2, y2. Okay, and then we're going to fill this in. Now, I personally like to put those minus signs there right away, and let's fill it in. y2, which is 5, minus y1, which is 10. On the bottom, x2, which is negative 9, minus x1, which is negative 14. And then we're going to compute. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. Minus a negative here, that turns that into a plus. So negative 9 plus 14 is positive 5. And this particular fraction can be simplified, and we're going to get a slope of negative 1. Okay? Our final way to find slope is given an equation. Now our goal, if they give us an equation, is we first want to put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, the reason why we want to do that is so that we can figure out what the m is, what our slope is. So for this particular one, I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to move the 3x. So I'm going to go minus 3x on both sides. That's 0. Make sure I bring this down appropriately. That is a negative 2y. And I have negative 3x and positive 2. The next step, I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. And we simplify. Negative divided by negative makes that a positive 3/2 x. And 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. Now that is not my answer. That is my slope-intercept form. The instructions say find the slope. So then I need to name what the slope is, and which is, in this particular one, 3/2. Okay, so those are 3 different ways to find slope. Okay, 3 different ways to find slope. Now let's look at writing some equations. So for this first one, always want to look at my instructions. It says write the slope-intercept form. That's this. And now I see I have a graph, so I got to look at what can I get from this graph. Well, first thing I can get right away is my y-intercept. And this one in particular, the y-intercept is at negative 4. Okay? Now I need another point, and I'm going to use that one right there, and I'm going to be able to get a slope. This is a negative slope. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and fall 2 and run 1. So my slope is going to be negative 2 over 1, which is really just negative 2. Okay, once I have my 2 pieces of information, all I have to do is plug in my m and b. So y equals negative 2x minus 4, and that would be my final answer. Okay, that would be my slope-intercept form. Again, pay attention to the instructions. It says write the slope-intercept form of the equation, blah, 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 blah. Important, write the slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to look at what I have. Okay, first, They gave me some information. Did they give me a slope? And yes, right here. Okay, there's my slope. Okay, the B, did they give me a y-intercept? Yes, they did. Okay, it's right there. So I have both pieces of information. I just need to plug it in. So it'd be y equals 4x minus 3. And that would be my slope-intercept form. Again, instructions first. Write the slope-intercept form. And what I have here is an equation. So what I know is that slope-intercept form is solved for y. So I want to get my y by itself in this particular equation. So in this particular one, I'm going to minus 1x on both sides. That's 0. And that's going to give me negative 2y equals negative 1x. Now, it's not necessary to write plus 0. Okay? And I add 0 to something, it doesn't change. My next step, I need to divide both sides by negative 2. So my answer would be y equals, negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive 1/2 x. And that would be my slope-intercept form. Okay, the next type we got here, instructions say write the point slope form. So I gotta look, this is my point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So I gotta check about what I have. Okay, first thing I always think about is, do I have a slope? And yes, I do. The slope here is negative 3. Next thing I look at with point slope form is, do I have a point? And yes, there's an x1, y1. There's an ordered pair, so I have a point, I have a slope, I just need to plug it in. So it's y, and we got to make sure we do minus y1. Well, y1 is 5, so I'd have minus 5. Equals my slope, the negative 3, parentheses, x, and then this says minus x1. Well, x1 is 3, so I'd put minus 3. And this would be my point slope form. I am finished. I don't do any other work. Okay, again, first thing I look at, my instructions. The instructions say write the point slope form. Well, again, point slope form is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And the first thing I see is, do I have a slope? And I don't have a slope. So I'm going to have to use my slope formula, and I need to find my slope first. And just as a reminder, this is our slope formula. Okay, so I'm going to label what I have over here. This is my x1, y1. This is my x2, y2. Excuse me with that. Okay, so let's look here. Y2, excuse me. Didn't notice that the first time. Y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is negative 3. On the bottom, I have x2, which is negative 3, minus x1, which is 1. Minus a negative turns into plus. That's going to be 4 on top. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So I have my slope. My slope is negative 1. And now I'm going to write my point slope form. Okay. I have a point right here, and that's the one I'm going to use. So I have y. Now it says minus y1. My y1 is negative 3, so I'm going to put plus 3, because minus and negative is going to turn into plus. Equals my slope, negative 1, okay, parentheses, x minus 1. And that would be my point slope form. Okay. Now, the last type that we have are slope-intercept form ones that have the least amount of information. So this, again, we've done some problems that were slope-intercept form already. Okay, but we're going to notice something different here. So here's my slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So I start off. Do I have a slope? Yes, I do. Slope is 2. The problem is, when I go to look at my y-intercept, I don't have a y-intercept. Instead, I have a point, and this point right here is not the y-intercept. Okay? So, I don't have a choice. I need to start off by writing point-slope form, because that's what I have. I have a point and a slope. So it'll be y minus 1 equals 2, parentheses, x plus 2. So there's my point-slope form. And then from here, we need to solve it for y. I want my final answer to be in slope-intercept form, so I need it to look like this. So I'm going to have to solve this. And the way we've talked about it, guys, it's Beyonce. Okay? I know this wasn't a fraction. I made it a fraction. So top number multiplies to the right. The bottom number is for Beyonce. To the left, to the left. So this is going to become 1y minus 1 equals 2x plus 4. I really don't need to put 1y. Okay? Plus 1 on both sides. And I'm going to get y equals 2x plus 5. And now I have my slope-intercept form. Okay? So I had to go through point-slope form in order to get there. Okay, the last one here. Instructions first. So it says write the slope-intercept form. So I know my answer. I want to make sure is in slope-intercept form. Sorry, I got a little sloppy there. So first thing, do I have a slope? And no, I don't. So I need to get my slope here. So I have negative 4 minus 2 on top. And 5 minus 1 on the bottom. It's going to be negative 6 over 4. And I'm going to simplify that to be negative 3 halves. So there's my slope, negative 3 halves. Okay? From here, I need to recognize I have a slope now, but I still don't have the y-intercept. I actually have 2 points, so I'm just going to use this point here, the x1, y1, and I'm going to write my point-slope form. So I got y minus 2 equals negative 3 halves, parentheses, x minus 1. From here, Beyonce. Okay, remember Beyonce? We're going to get rid of this fraction here is the whole point of it. Top number multiplies to the right, distributes to the right. The bottom one's for Beyonce. She goes to the left, to the left. Okay, so this is going to become 2y minus 4. Okay, the right side is going to become negative 3x plus 3. You have to make sure you distribute correctly. From there, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. It's going to give me 2y equals negative 3x plus 7. That is a negative. And then I divide everything by 2. Now the rule is if it doesn't divide evenly, write the fraction. So y equals, see, negative 3 halves x. And then 7 divided by 2 is a decimal, so plus 7 over 2. Okay. Now always kind of make sure the slope I had here at the beginning matches up with the slope I have in my final answer. Okay. Now, okay, here is the rest of that particular worksheet. The answers are right there. If you want to go ahead and do the evens, okay, if you want to look back at the odds, I just showed you, okay, all the work that I did. I did all the odd problems, okay, and now it's your job if you want to do some extra practice to go ahead and do the evens, okay. You guys have a good day. If you have questions, please make sure you bring them to class. Bye.